Hey everybody, what's going on? Welcome to the podcast. My name's Matt.
I'm Grant.
I'm Michael.
Michael is our guest today. He's a guitarist extraordinaire.
Oh, you're making me blush.
Knows what he's doing, knows his stuff.
I know a few things.
Grant as well knows what he's doing.
Not on a guitar.
Maybe not instrument-wise, but sound-wise. I mean, you went to school,
Yeah.
Down in Tennessee, Nashville.
Yeah, did that.
What school did you go to?
SAE.
Nice.
Yeah.
Learned a little music theory and everything.
A little bit.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Music theory's fun stuff.
Oh, it's cool. I didn't really teach you music theory down there, too. That's cool.
Kind of. A little bit. Not a lot.
Just like a rundown of it?
Yeah.
Just to let you know somebody sounds like crap?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's hard. Music theory's hard.
Well,
Yeah,
When you really get into it, it gets hard.
I'm not good at music theory.
Is anybody, though?
That's true.
I don't
it's just
think-
a theory.
Yeah.
I don't think I could do... I don't know if there's any notes that I could read too well anymore.
I
Yeah.
can read standard sheet music still. But
I don't think I can.
I can't read it in, like, real time as I'm playing. I have to, like, look at it and, like, it'll take me a few. And then I'll just, like, tab it out in regular tabs and do it that way.
I used to
it's
be
just
able
easier.
to play guitar off of basic sheet music, but I can't do it anymore.
It's hard. Especially when you get to chords and stuff. It's like, whoa, hold on.
Yeah, this was like
Right,
playing
it's-
like Jingle Bells.
Yeah. That's not too bad.
So basically, this is the first episode of this podcast, and basically the premise and the reason for this podcast is we've all grown up with musical backgrounds, and we've all been musicians or been involved with music for a very long time, and we want to use this time to talk about music and possibly talk with other musicians about music, and eventually we want to have people on the show, maybe perform acoustic songs or bring their music in, let them play their music, and we can talk about their music and any shows that they're doing, review the music, maybe give pointers, to newer musicians, help them out.
Yeah.
And that's basically what we want to do. It doesn't have to be local musicians. It could be, anybody across the United States, Canada, anywhere.
Yeah, send the music in. We can review it.
Send it in. We can review it.
All styles.
Yeah, all styles. Doesn't have to be, rock and roll. It could be anything.
Which are primarily, we grew up with the rock and roll metal genres, being in bands and whatnot. But I've branched out into just about everything. So
Yeah.
it's
As you mature,
yeah.
you start listening to other music, and you start to really appreciate the value of every style of music, no matter what it is.
Yeah, a good musician is a good musician.
Exactly.
Yeah.
There's stuff on the radio that sometimes I don't agree with, but I'm gonna admit it's catchy.
Hey, you'll catch me humming a Rihanna song every once in a while.
It's on the radio. It's on the radio for a reason.
For a while there, I was part of the Party in the USA as the new national anthem. So
It might still be the new national anthem.
I believe it is. I believe it's in the Constitution now.
Miley Cyrus got that passed finally.
Yeah.
So basically, we'll just introduce ourselves and give you a little background on us. I grew up, listening. My first album I ever bought, well, not bought, was given to me was the Michael Jackson Thriller.
Solid
Yeah.
first album. Solid.
And
Better than my first album.
yeah,
that-
way
that-
better than mine.
Michael Jackson was the first musician I was introduced to as growing up, and after that it was Whitney Houston. Great musicians, great talent. Then after that it kind of, that's really all I listened to for my childhood, because you're a kid. But as you start to go through, you're a teenager and you're going through puberty and going through changes and stuff, you start listening to other stuff. And that about that time, that was the boy band sensation.
I never got into the boy bands.
Yeah, I was like 12, 12, 13.
My older brother had NSYNC on tape, and we shared rooms when we were kids, and he used to listen to that song when we were going to, or that tape when we were going to sleep. And I liked it because I was like 8. And I didn't know any better, but
Yeah, I mean,
he's to blame because he was like 12. He didn't have an excuse.
right.
He didn't have an excuse.
Yeah, as a kid, you feel the music, I guess, literally.
Yeah.
It makes kids dance and whatever, but as you mature, you're like, man, I don't like this anymore. So you tear
You
it
stop
down.
liking mom and dad's.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
you
you find your own.
Start
what you
rebelling
like.
a little bit, I guess.
Yeah.
And that's when I started. That's when my brother introduced me to Offspring,
Solid.
and I started getting into the Offspring, and then Kid Rock.
I think we took the same path there. My brother
we might have.
showed me Offspring.
Yeah, and then I jumped into Kid Rock and tried
Yeah.
to show him, and he was like, "No, that's stupid." And I think after that. That's when I started listening to like punk music.
Yeah.
Because you're going through You're a teenager. You're going through school, and you're like, yeah, that punk music. It's
You just want to
rebellious.
rebel, yeah.
Yeah. And then that's after
Hey,
that.
my dad.
There was the whole emo bands. Like considered emo bands back then were like Taking Back Sunday and Senses Fail and Finch and basically all the bands on Drive Thru Records at the time.
Basically. Yeah. Yeah.
You know what? They're not as emo as the ones now. I don't think.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the-
the emo music's now is it's
Super emo.
They took
Yeah,
it too far.
it's weird.
I
Took
mean,
it too far.
Yeah. It's
Good
like
God.
almost goth. And yeah, I was really into that, and that's about that time that's when I started wanting to actually play music. And a friend at the time, he was already playing, and he showed me how to start playing and how to read tablature. And what really made me want to play in the band Lost Prophets. They were a band.
Oh man.
They were banned for a long time before
That's-
anybody really
That's
knew
a
about them.
throwback.
Yeah.
Lost Prophets. Oh,
When
man. I
the
think
album
they
with
played
like
at Silver
Shinobi
Hill, didn't
Ninja, like Shinobi versus Dragon Ninja,
they? Yeah.
and he played that song on guitar, and I was just like, teach me that.
Yeah. Teach it to me.
And he showed me how to play, and after that I was hooked.
Yeah.
I didn't really take lessons. I mean, he gave me lessons as much as he could, and what he knew at the time. And then once you learn how to read tablature, and you start, the easiest way is you listen to the song.
Yeah.
You listen
Learn
to the song.
and so if you can hum the song, the guitar lines in your head, and you can look at the tabs. It's all about just playing it enough times to where you can play it fluently. That's all it is.
Yeah,
That's all it is.
yeah, and the more you do it, the more you learn, the more it becomes easy, and then you start learning how to play the more technical stuff.
Yeah. You start learning the techniques and
Yeah,
stuff.
and it gets fun. It takes a lot of practice and a lot of patience. People all the time they want to know how to play guitar, and I said, well, how patient are you? Do you have?
Yeah.
I mean, you're an adult. With children, which there's nothing wrong with that, but it takes a lot of time and practice.
A lot of time. It takes that teenager. I sit around and do nothing but watch porn and rebel against my dad. That's what it takes. So you got that 10 hours a day to just sit around and do nothing.
Yeah, and
So you
turn your
play-
amp up as loud as you can,
Yeah.
just to make your parents angry.
Oh, just to piss everybody off.
Yeah.
You just crank it up, and eventually your dad buys you headphones. And then, it's over.
And you're like, well, Dad won again.
Dad wins.
The music is great. Whenever I have children, I hope they can get into music. They don't have to get into music, but it's great to know.
I'll make sure I have every outlet available
Yeah.
for them to make sure if they do want to pursue music that it's there.
Right. I'm not going to force them.
No,
They-
because I wish my dad would have been a little more supportive of my music endeavors when I was growing up. I mean, he did let us practice there for a while, but then he got tired of it, and then it was just like, nope, no more. We're done with that. And then we, what are we gonna do? And I remember
Right.
practice not able to do anything, so it just kind of all fell apart, and you just kind of
That was the hard part. Like, once you form that band,
yeah.
just forming the band itself, like getting people to be like, yeah, I'm in,
Yeah.
and actually show up, that's probably the hardest part of starting a band,
Yeah. Getting
the
everybody
second
on
hardest
the same
part-
page.
is finding a place to practice.
Yeah.
Nobody
You
wanted
know.
a bunch of teenagers around
Exactly.
their house.
A bunch of yahoos around smoking cigarettes and
And I got lucky because
drinking half a beer.
Oh.
Whoa.
my mother, like, she supported it.
Yeah.
You know.
Wholeheartedly too. Your
She
mom
would-
was like the
Yeah,
biggest
she was
supporter.
so into it.
That was
She would let us move all the furniture in the living room.
Oh, I remember that.
She would let us push it all the way back. And at the time, we were living in a small house
Yeah.
in Dayton, Indiana. You know, just a tiny town in a small house. And she would let us just push all the furniture back and crowd as much equipment in there as we could.
We rearranged the living
Yeah.
room every time we came over.
Every time we'd have to, rearrange the living room.
We would jam the pictures off the walls, dang near.
Yeah.
And we would jam out, and then we'd put everything all back. And she'd sit there through the whole thing, just like watching us, give us little critiques
Yeah.
and stuff like that.
It was loud, just
that's
as
crazy.
loud as could be.
Yeah.
And she would just sit there like it was nothing.
Yeah, that's crazy. That was awesome.
And then, we got into the Battle of Bands. It was at Jefferson High School. And that's when we really started. We were like practicing every day.
Yeah.
Moving the furniture, putting our equipment in, taking our equipment out, putting the furniture in. And we had to learn how to set up. We had to learn how to set up in under 5 minutes.
Yep.
The time limit was 5 minutes between bands coming in and off the stage.
Yep.
And we got it down to where we were doing it in 2 minutes because
Yeah.
she made us set up, tear down, set up,
We
tear
had it
down,
to a
set up, tear down.
science.
And
Yeah,
ever since then, that stuck with us. Like
Yeah, we
eventually,
were always that band.
Yeah.
Like, anytime we played, it
I
was
mean,
always,
even
were
when we
off.
split off and started different bands,
Yeah.
both of our bands, like no matter where we were on that stage in 2 minutes.
Yep, we were ready to go.
And the sound guys weren't even ready to go.
Yeah, they were still hooking mics up. And we're like, come on,
Yeah.
guys.
I'm like, come
what
on,
are you
dude.
doing?
It's like, I want to play.
Yeah, I'm ready to go. Eating into my time.
And yeah, playing shows. I can't explain it unless you actually play a show.
Yeah, if you've never played a show,
Even if it's for like 3 people.
yeah,
That first time, it's like you'll never experience it unless
No.
you actually do it.
no,
Because you're so nervous. Like, yeah, you're going to mess up.
yeah, it's gonna happen. You're
But-
gonna mess up, but the mess ups, they're genuine. It makes it like original. It makes it worth it for the people to be there. It's not like hearing a record and it's the same thing every time. They come to your show and see the little imperfections, and it makes it
Yeah.
just makes it cooler.
Yeah.
They don't realize it, but you
Right.
do.
You know as soon as it
Yeah,
happens. And
yeah.
they don't really hear it, but
No.
even if it's just like half a note and you come in earlier, you hit that note at the wrong time.
Oh,
you know.
coming in early, that's the worst. Oh.
Yeah.
Losing time because you can't hear the drummer or something like that, and then you're like, wait a minute, where was I? And you just kind of
Yeah.
stop and you look around at everybody, and they're looking at you, and you're like, what do I do?
that happened to us. We played at the White County Fair. In like middle of the song, we just lost where we were, and I didn't know what to do, so I just said redo, and we
Redo.
started all over.
I think we've all had one of those. At
Yeah.
least we've all had. If you're in a band, you've done that at least once.
Yeah. Sometimes you just skip the song and just start a different one,
And
but
just
I
move
was just
on.
like redo, and like the people laughed and we redid it. But, you have those shows where you're gonna have a bad show. Sometimes you're gonna have a bad show.
You're gonna bomb.
Yeah, it just happens. Like
We got booed off stage.
yeah,
in
that happens
Goshen.
too.
We straight up got booed off of stage because we went and tried to play I think it was like Under Oath cover songs. It was when Rose Remley was very very young, and we went to Goshen and played at the Post with some, I think, remember Arlington before they were before they went to like the Analysts and all that.
Yeah.
Remember Arlington? We were playing with them in Kingston Falls, and we got booed off of stage. Went back a year later and killed it. But yeah, getting booed off stage is essential to an early band because it kind of gives you that like, oh yeah, we do suck.
Yeah.
Holy shit,
Yeah.
what are we doing? Your high school friends and your buddies, they're gonna clap for you every
Yeah,
time.
they're gonna be like, "Oh no, it was awesome."
Yeah,
you
they're,
know?
they're gonna tell you it was good. They're gonna clap for you and everything. But when you go around a bunch of people you don't know and they tell you suck and you get booed off stage, you start to you kind of revamp the entire.
It hurts, but
It's necessary though.
yeah,
It's a necessary
happens.
hurt.
yeah, it happens. I mean, we're not in bands anymore, but we still play, and
I play every day still.
yeah, I enjoy it.
I'd
every
love
day.
to be in a band, but with everybody's schedules, working and everything, it's just so hard.
It is. It's very hard. Now, when you're a kid, you're like,
You had all the time in the world.
Tuesday night at 9 o'clock, I'll be there.
Yeah.
Now I'm like, no. Not worth.
It's 9 o'clock.
Yeah.
I gotta go to bed soon.
Yeah, 6 a.m. sucks. So
yeah, it sucks.
That's just a little bit of my background. There's a little bit of Micheal's in there. These other guys they're sharing music and what got them into music. So whoever wants,
I think my first band, was with Matt, and then after that band, we kind of branched off, and they did their own band, and I moved on to a band called A Roast for Emily with some of the guys from that band, from our first band, Save Her. Save Her. Yeah, first band. Let me reiterate.
Yeah.
First
freshman in
band.
high school.
First band. Yeah. Then we moved on to A Roast for Emily and played cover songs at first, Under Oath cover songs. You guys remember that?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. We did that with cover songs.
You guys were doing a little bit of Norma Jean too.
We did
right?
some Norma Jean songs and some of that crap. But then after we got booed off stage, we went back to the freaking writing board and we started to, we needed to find our own sound. And it took me and Kellen a few fights and a few I hate you kind of moments, and then we kind of came up with our own sound after that with Joel, and then kind of evolved with Jesse a little bit more into like that metalcore kind of sound.
Right.
We did that kind of stuff, but pretty much that band just kind of stopped because everybody kind of got into their own little, life started to happen. Eric was a little older than everybody, and he was moving on and doing that whole thing. And
yeah.
So then I didn't do anything for about a year. Maybe a little less than a year. I kind of messed around with Derek Anderson and them for a little while. And then I was in a band called Don the Omega with Shane.
Yeah, I remember that.
And I was a singer.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah, that's the first time I ever sang for a band. First time I ever even tried to sing.
Where you did the Dirty
Yeah,
Bird?
the Dirty Bird and all that. I think we played one show, and I did the Dirty Bird.
I'm glad I went to that show because I didn't know that was your only show.
Yeah, that was our only show we ever played. I didn't play any more shows with them. They were trying to let's go on tour, and I was laid off from work. I'm like, yeah, let's not. I gotta go back to work, guys.
Yeah.
I'm not 16 anymore. See you later. I gotta go to work.
Yeah. It's like I got an adult. I gotta be an adult.
I got an adult now. Since then, I've just been playing by myself. I don't really play with much people. I jam with a few people here and there, but nobody wants to really jam too much anymore.
Yeah.
And you just, you get older, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But thank God for computers and internet, and I can play with the internet.
And you can share,
I can play guitars with, I can there's tab programs you can download, and you just play along with that kind of stuff. So you don't need other people to play along with anymore as like you used to, because you didn't have all the stuff we have now.
Yeah.
It's still not as good as another person though.
Right.
Yeah.
What makes that other person is you got to click with them too.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard to just
if you're not on that level.
Yeah, it's
with
hard
somebody,
to just
it doesn't work.
Pick up your guitar and be like, oh, we sound awesome together.
Mm-hmm.
Because it doesn't work like that.
No, it takes months. Like you almost have to hang out with somebody for a couple months.
Yeah.
You gotta be bros with somebody. Bros, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then after that, then you can you gotta connect on that level. And then once you're you guys are on that level, then you can really start to play, and you can kind of guess each other's where he's going with this, where he's going with that.
Yeah, it makes it a lot easier.
And
that's really how you start writing with other people.
It's that look. You're playing with somebody and they give you that look, and you know exactly what they're...
Like the O face, like the...
You know exactly what look they're doing,
Yeah.
so you start doing their part, or you start doing something, and
and then it all comes together, and you're like, that was awesome!
Yeah. It's just crazy stuff like that.
It's like, we made that!
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It's fun stuff.
It is. It's like, you learn so much from it, because... Like, now, I'm at the age now where I like the music that, I grew up listening to, but now I'm starting to, venture backwards and listen to stuff that I never listened to growing up.
Yeah.
Like older musicians, well, not older musicians, but older music. And, I never really listened to, Bob Seger and, stuff like that. Yeah. And what really got me into it is the last job I had to drive around a lot, so I would just, put it on the radio, found a good station, it was 98.7.
There you go.
And they were playing stuff from, the 70s and 80s and 60s. Now they're starting to play stuff in the 90s, which, kind of makes me feel old. But I'm like, man.
We're going to see the, speaking of 90s bands, we're going to see the Goo Goo Dolls. And,
What?
Goo Goo Dolls?
I can't remember the name of the other band, another 90s freaking band.
My dad used to always make Iris. That was, he made me
I remember that,
song.
and you break that string every time.
Every time. Oh my god, you had a tune so crazy.
You'd be like, no, I'm going to break the string.
Yeah, you're like, just play it. Yeah, I like that song.
Halfway through, snap.
Snap. Hate you, Dad.
They'd be like, oh, now it doesn't sound good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
But yeah, like we were saying, the older you get, like your taste for music starts to mature. So you want that music, that feel good music. You know? Like I still listen to metal.
Yeah.
And I listen to other stuff. Like I listen to some country. I really like older country.
I love older country. Yeah.
Newer country, it's like stadium country.
Yeah. Pop country.
Yeah.
And I can't get into it.
It's the
talking about
country
riding
title
horses
has
and
just
stuff.
stuck because that they wear cowboy hats and
Yeah.
but when you're a country artist nowadays and you're wearing tight jeans and gyrating on the stage
And $3,000 boots and
it's
And
not
you're-
country, man. To me, that's not country.
Yeah.
And you're doing a video with Nelly.
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
Yeah.
What even is that?
Other
Yeah.
people will disagree. Like younger generations will disagree. And they're like, that's country now.
That's country.
I like some country and I like rap.
Who was
But
that?
you don't put it together.
Who was that Facebook guy? Facebook country guy.
I don't know.
I can't remember his name, but all the little 16-year-old girls were loving that guy because he had the country voice. But I can't remember his name. But he just died off fast, didn't he?
I don't even know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I can't remember his name.
Yeah, I can't either.
I can't remember his
I
name.
know you're talking about.
It came and went. I think it was Kane. I can't remember.
I don't think I ever
I
saw
can't
him.
remember. I might have to look it up, but it was Kane Brown, I think, is what it was. But I could be wrong. We might be able to find him real fast. But
I don't even remember seeing anything about it.
that's what's popular with the kids these days. It just takes a young dude with a country voice he's not even a country guy.
Yeah, it's like I think I've been hearing like that Florida Georgia line. I guess they're like a big joke.
Yeah, that's not
They're
country.
not country.
Yeah, that's him, Kane Brown.
Kane Brown.
Yeah, he's terrible. He's terrible. He's just got that country voice, and he just says those country lines. Pickup truck. You know what I'm saying?
Cold
Got
beer.
mud, I'm a pickup truck.
Got a beer in my hand, and I'm in my pickup truck driving really drunk and fast.
Great.
But I'm country. Yeah, to me, that's not country music.
Singing about riding horses, but I'm buying shoes on Melrose.
Country music to me is like, Conway Twitty and Johnny Cash and like Vince Gill and
Hank Williams.
yeah, Hank Williams and
Waylon Jennings, that kind of
Keith
stuff.
Whitley and stuff like that. That's the country I listened to when I was growing up. My grandma always had the radio on. She listened to country.
Yeah.
But they don't even play stuff like that on the radio anymore.
No, they don't.
You'll get
So-
like maybe one of those songs a week.
Once a month.
Yeah.
If
Well,
that.
Sturgill Simpson. Have you guys listened to Sturgill?
Uh-uh.
He's a newer country artist, but he's really good.
Yeah, there are some
very
new ones
good.
starting to come out
He's
that
not.
are.
Yeah, he's not even. I
that are
don't
more
think you can hear him on the
traditional.
radio or anything like that. I heard him on Rogan's podcast, and he's really good.
Yeah, like
He's really
Chris
good.
Stapleton.
I like Chris Stapleton.
Yeah, he's
too.
good.
Yeah,
That's
really
more
good.
traditional.
Yeah, Chris Stapleton's real good.
Hopefully, it stays that way.
You know it won't. You know it won't.
Yeah, that's the unfortunate thing. So, what about you, Grant? What got you into music?
Talk about me. Okay. Well,
He just wanted to get laid. So.
all right. So I guess I'll talk about myself a little bit.
Take us back, Grant.
Take it way back. Take
Well,
take us deep.
I do remember the
Like we need
first
some
CD
Barry
I
White.
ever owned. I do remember my first CD.
Yeah,
I got it for Christmas with my first boombox.
you still have it?
No, I don't
No.
still have it. It was Mighty Ducks 2 soundtrack.
What? That's awesome.
Nice.
You know, some Queen was on there.
Yeah, there was actually some classic stuff on there. Yeah, that was the first CD. That's the only one I can remember. My first one, because that's when I got the little boombox. And I
Awesome
rocked out with
tunes,
that boombox.
Awesome movie.
That boombox was
can't
my
go wrong
shit
there.
for a long time.
Yeah, boomboxes back then were like those.
This was like a
that was the
boombox.
thing.
Like you could put batteries in it, and the speakers could stay attached to it, and you could carry that bitch around if you wanted to.
Ooh.
the speakers
was-
come off.
Yeah, you could take them off.
Ooh, those were the best ones.
Yeah.
Dude. Those were
Yeah,
the
you could
best.
slide them off.
But
And
they
like,
never
put 'em
stretched
out.
far enough.
I'd always
No.
add extra speakers and have like 6
Yeah.
speakers on it.
Like it barely works.
It barely works. Sound like
They're
crap.
like,
Look, it's coming out 6 speakers though.
hook up a sub to it.
Sounds like crap.
It's like, how is this thing working?
I don't know if I don't think my parents still have that boombox. They had it for a really long time.
Yeah.
It stuck around for a long time. But
I remember doing the Harley Davidson and the Marlboro Men photo shoot at your house.
God, that was the best band name ever.
Best band name ever.
We
Never
photo-
practiced, never recorded, never did anything.
You didn't need. You didn't.
But
need
we
to
had
practice.
sick pictures.
You
But
could
we
just
had
walk
sick
up on
pictures.
stage and just stand
and we
there.
did a
like,
photo
all like-
shoot, and it was awesome.
And we
It was.
photoshopped Brandon's chest hair onto everybody.
Because we were like 12 to have chest hair.
And Brandon was
I
like,
still don't have any chest hair.
Oh my God! Why
got-
don't you have any chest hair?
Casey counted them. I have 12.
why
12?
my
But look at
mom
these nipple
allowed
hairs, though, bro.
all of us to come over, and then Brandon, who was like 6 years older than us,
Uncle Drunk.
my mom allowed him into the house.
I think at that point she was just like, whatever.
Just whatever. Yeah, Gray hangs out with rapists. Whatever.
So Mighty
Holy
Ducks
shit.
2.
Yeah. And then I don't know how it went after that. You know, but I listened to. I know my brother got me into Offspring too. I got into. I remember when you could order the CDs out of the magazines or
Oh, yeah.
whatever. I used to do that. Like
Yeah,
you
my
could-
brother got in big trouble from that.
Well, there was one that wasn't bad. Like you could just order like
It
one
wasn't
or
like
two.
BMG or something
Yeah,
like that.
you could.
Yeah,
you could just order like one or two magazines.
there was one.
CDs.
It wasn't BMG. It was like some other
something
company.
shitty one. Columbia.
Yeah, it was Columbia.
That
the
one
It was
that
like
got him.
the subscription. You had to order
Yeah.
so many a month or
Yeah, and
whatever.
he didn't know it was a subscription.
Yeah.
That's how they got people.
I remember that one, but
Yeah.
this other one you could like pick like and choose CDs, and I don't think there was a limit. But I remember doing that, and I would get like Blink-182 and stuff like that, doing that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And that was when Enema of the State probably came out from Blink-182.
Oh, okay.
So
Probably one of my favorite ones. That
that's
one and Take Off Your Pants
probably
and
my
Jacket.
favorite CD
Yeah,
of
Yeah,
all
those
time.
two. I
Take
love-
Off Your Pants and Jacket was probably my favorite.
Yeah, I
one.
love those
Yeah.
two albums. I mean, I like their older stuff too, but
I like
those
Dude
two
Ranch.
albums,
That was good.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
good, but it wasn't as good as
Right.
Enema of the State. Enema of the State just had that production quality. and
Oh
it
yeah,
just-
it was great.
They had Travis Barker.
I was gonna say, that was
Yeah.
our
It was
first
just-
one with Travis.
Yeah, that was just a solid album. Now they got that guy. What's his name?
I don't even know his name. I don't like him. I don't like his
Yeah,
face.
I don't like his
I
face.
don't like anything about this new guy.
I don't like the way he looks. I don't like nothing about
And it's surprising, like
Probably got a small
hardcore Blink
penis.
fans like the new members and the new sound.
No, they don't.
Matt Skiba. That's
Because I've
his name,
been a
Matt
hardcore Blink
Yeah.
fan since I was.
Like I'm not a hardcore
12.
Blink fan, but I love Blink-182, and I don't like it.
Skiba. Yeah,
I don't like change. Well, Tom was my favorite member of the band.
Yeah,
he was
Tom-
always
yeah.
my favorite.
Tom and Travis made the band.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Mark was just like
I liked all-
Mark's cool.
I thought
Mark was
they were
just
all
like that
good,
cool
but-
cousin that you couldn't tell him to go home.
Yeah. I like Tom so much that my first guitar, that 57 I had,
Yeah.
the reason I got that color was because of Tom. It was the same
the
color.
seafoam?
That surf green seafoam.
Yeah.
It was that. But I had that the maple neck, and he had the rosewood.
See, I like the maple necks.
Yeah, I love
They-
maple necks.
They just look pretty.
Yeah, they do. They do. Touche.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was
Go on.
that was some of my first CDs were Blink-182. When I got into other stuff like Sum 41, and I also listened to my brother showed me Eminem back when
My name is.
yeah, when that came out.
I think we all like that when it came out.
Yeah,
You know, we were lucky. We got to see Eminem.
yeah.
We got to see something awesome.
The beginning,
Yeah.
beginning.
all the way through, like
Yeah.
the big pill phase, the
Yeah,
whole. We
everything.
got to see the whole thing. I mean, I don't really like Eminem anymore per se. It's not really like my cup of tea.
Yeah.
But I can appreciate how good he is. You know,
Yeah,
he's
he's-
very good.
Very talented.
Yeah.
I just can't get into all that kind of stuff sometimes. Some of it's okay though.
So yeah, there was all that kind of music. And I listened to, like, my dad listened to a lot of classic rock, so I listened to a lot of that too. And I don't play any instruments anymore. I grew up, when I was younger, I took guitar lessons, like classical acoustic style guitar lessons, but
Yeah.
I never was any good. I don't have any rhythm in my body. I can't keep a beat. I don't know why. I can teach you how to play guitar. Like, I can teach you the fundamentals and how to play a guitar,
All the basics.
but I can't do it.
See, I got lucky. My guitar teacher was Clayton Miller from the Clayton Miller Blues Band.
Oh yeah.
And all that, which is his little brother LD. I think he's just called Miller now.
Yeah.
And he's really good. He's got that. His voice is. He's
Oh really?
He's doing.
I haven't heard anything out of him in a while.
Yeah, check him out. He's doing really good. But yeah, I lucked out having like one of the hometown hero kind of guys was my guitar teacher, and I didn't really because I'd already knew music because I played trumpet in middle school.
Really?
So
I didn't know that.
Yeah, so it was the 6th grade year was when I took guitar lessons, so I'd already knew like how to read sheet music and all that kind of stuff. So really, all he did was teach me how to play songs. And the first song he taught me how to play was "Come as You Are" by Nirvana.
Oh, nice.
That was one of the first songs I officially really learned how to play, other than like my grandpa, because he played guitar his whole life. He would show me stuff. And this other guy, Josh Miller, that went to the church I went to when I was a kid, because I went to church. He was pretty much the reason why I started playing guitar, because he played guitar, and I thought, oh, he looks so cool. I want to be just as cool as this guy. So I remember riding home with my dad and telling him I wanted to take guitar lessons, and he just kind of thought I was crazy because my grandpa lived next door and he's like Mr. Guitar. But yeah, I mean he didn't want to teach me a whole lot because my grandpa never formally got taught anything. He just kind of taught himself how to play. So he didn't want to like teach me his corrupted ways that he learned. Although he sounds good, but he wanted me to learn the actual fundamentals and all that kind of stuff. So I guess I just got lucky with the whole Clayton Miller thing. But he didn't show up to my last appointment, and I'm still kind of salty about that.
Still waiting on him to show up.
Still waiting on that last appointment. So,
there could be stuff in there that you don't know.
So if you're listening, Clayton Miller, I'm waiting.
Yeah. Michael Bolton, waiting.
I'm waiting for you.
I played in middle school band. I did saxophone. But
ooh, that's the love one.
That's
I know.
sexy.
Yeah,
so I keep
dude.
telling Gabby it's the saxophone.
That's
She don't believe me.
Why don't you still have the
I
saxophone?
don't. I wish I would have. Now looking back on it, I wish I would have
You need
stuck
to get
to that.
one. Yeah.
I wasn't great. I was like
You could be
last chair.
serenading her. That's a terrible saxophone sound.
That's still not. I don't think that's a very good saxophone.
Yeah, we can't do saxophone. That's a hard one to do.
Yeah.
You can't mimic.
No,
saxophone.
that's terrible. That's hard.
I wasn't real big into it then, but now I wish I would have.
Now you're like, I could be so sexy.
I wish I would have kept to it. It's actually a really cool instrument.
It is.
I'm
A lot
not
of
gonna
people
go.
don't play saxophone.
I'm not gonna get one now. Girlfriend will
You could
never
have
let me hear the end
you
of
could have a
it.
sax battle with Bill Clinton.
Hell yeah!
Not sex.
Do I get to slay Hillary Clinton if I win?
Yes, that's the bonus.
That's your prize. It's good old sweet old Hillary.
Wow.
How long did you only play saxophone through middle school? or-
Yeah, I only played for middle school, and then in high school I didn't do band because it's high school. You don't do band.
Yeah.
That's why I quit playing sports and everything because I'd rather be in a band because it was just more fun.
Yeah, I quit playing sports in high school because
Yeah,
I
it
didn't
just
like the
was.
kids that were on the teams.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which I'm glad I did because the experiences and stuff that we had growing up through music, that you can't replace that with really anything.
No.
I mean, I played football and stuff in middle school, and it would have been the same thing in high school, just a little bit bigger.
Yeah.
Not that big of a deal. But we got to travel around, and we got to meet crazy people and see crazy stuff and do stuff not very many like 16, 17-year-old kids really got to do, which, I'm thankful for that. That was...
It was a good time.
Yeah, it was a good time.
It was. If my life was like that now, like if I started doing that now, I'd probably die.
Yeah, I couldn't go out.
You know, at that age, you're like, yeah, all-nighters. You know,
Yeah,
like they were
all-nighters.
nothing.
Yeah, and like we do like little weekend kind of tours, I guess you would call it, where we go out and we play like a couple shows on the weekend and kind of stay out. Like Kellen's dad lived in northern Indiana, so we would play a show up there, stay at his dad's house, and then play another show and come home, kind of thing. We would do that a lot.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, and that kind of stuff. But now it's like, man, I just want to go home at night.
It's like, I just want to sleep in my bed.
I want to go home. I want to see my dog. I want to go to sleep.
Right.
You know, it's like
Even now, like, you know, when I'm like out, you know, partying or doing whatever, I don't party. I don't know why I said that.
Why did I say
Why am I
that? That
lying
was
to
a
myself?
lie.
Drink a few beers. People are like, you can crash here if you want. I'm like, no. I'll wait an hour and then I'll drive. And
yeah. Worst comes to worst, I'll get an Uber.
exactly.
I need to go
I
home.
might get butt raped, but at least I will not. At least I will be in my bed at some point.
Always keep lube on you just in case.
Yeah.
If you're gonna get raped, you might as well be lubed.
Might as well make it somewhat not rapey, I guess.
Anyway.
You might as well enjoy it a little bit.
Anyways,
Make the best of a bad situation. Anyways, moving on. Hashtag come rape me. Anyway.
Where were we?
I don't know.
So,
I think the last thing we were talking about was you didn't play instruments, band instruments in high school.
right, yeah, I tried to keep playing my guitar in high school, but I was never any good. So-
It's hard.
Yeah.
I got
You
lucky.
don't know what to do.
I lived in the country, and my brothers, they played video games a lot. I didn't really like video games, so I just played guitar all
Yeah.
day.
I'd play quite a bit, but I just never got it.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I just never got
And
it.
I always wanted to impress chicks, so
You're
I
like,
feel like
I'll just do it later.
I feel like the more songs I would learn, I would try to learn like the popular Blink-182 and those kind of songs to try to impress chicks.
Yeah, they didn't care.
Yeah, it never worked.
I could play Stay Together for the Kids
Groupies aren't real.
by Blink-182.
It's a myth.
It is.
But, so high school, I didn't really do a whole lot music-wise. I mean, we stuffed your half stack in my Grand Am. Because Matt didn't have a goddamn
Remember that going to
car.
shows, we would like stuff our friends' cars full
Yeah.
of like instruments and
Like,
stuff.
hey,
And just
drive in
drive,
for free if you want to take our equipment up there.
just drive 3 hours away, play a show.
But
get
then
paid 20
you're
bucks, and
like,
drive
you're
home.
like, all right, you know.
It was fun though in high
That
school.
was the thing to do on the weekend.
Yeah,
Just,
it's
like
just something
load
to do.
your friend's car up with equipment and take him to the show with you.
I still can't believe we fixed a half stack in that 2-door Grand Am.
Yeah, I still have that half stack. I shoved that half stack in a Honda Civic.
God damn it.
The things you do to get equipment to a show.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I stuck my Impala when I was living in Tennessee. I filled that thing full of drums for somebody. That was pretty good.
So that's the thing about drums. You can fit those bastards anywhere.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, they're versatile, man. There's so many little
Like when they're
pieces
set
you
up,
can
it looks huge, but no, just you tear it down and you
Well,
can.
There's like
You can put it
3 big
anywhere.
pieces.
This
Yeah.
kid
Other
had-
than that, stands and stuff.
This kid had 2 kick drums,
Oh shit.
2 floor toms, 4 high toms,
Like
Yeah.
Metallica did.
and he had a cymbal rack that went all the way around him.
He listened to Metallica, right?
That's a cymbal rack.
Yeah.
He had like these racks, and then they had the
Why do you
cymbals
need-
coming off of them.
Holy
Why do you need
cow.
that many cymbals?
This kid had a setup, man.
Did you want to be Neil Peart? What do you
Get
want?
a cymbal
I don't
set,
know.
not a drum set.
He had everything.
My dad
He was
though, had
good,
like
though. He
11
was good.
cymbals when he had his drum set.
11?
When I was like,
Wait, your dad played drums?
yeah, that was the first instrument I learned how to play was actually drums. When I was like
Really?
4 or 5 years old, my dad would teach me how to play little those little
Yeah.
simple beats. So I would learn those and stuff like that. And then I got into guitar. So the first actual instrument I played was drums, and then and then piano, and then guitar.
The only thing I know about your dad,
Is that
You want-
handlebar mustache has got to be like 40 years
Okay,
old.
imagine that handlebar mustache, a pair of cowboy boots, and then a sick beat on the drums with 11 cymbals. Oh,
Hey,
there
hey.
you go.
you want to hear a
Cut
pig
off.
squeal?
Remember when he shot Brent in the ass with the paintball gun? He like walked down the porch and he looks at Brent and he's like, run, or something like that. And he's holding the paintball gun and Brent's like, what? And he goes, I ain't kidding. He's like, you got 3 seconds or something like that. And Brent takes off running. My dad shot him right in the ass. Like, right in the butthole.
Didn't even zigzag, just ran
He
straight.
just straight. Took off running straight. He was so awkward. Brett was the most awkward dude ever. Love the guy, but he was awkward.
I think we all were.
Yeah, I think we all were.
Kids.
I had the black hair.
You know, when I first met you, I was like, he just has black hair. And then one day you had brown hair. I was like, did you dye your hair? Like, no.
No.
I had some wild hair, and now
Yeah. The hair you had back then was like...
it's gone, dude. It's
Diana
gone.
Ross would have been jealous, man.
Yeah, they would have been jealous. I had
That fro was ridiculous.
I had something going on.
That one day you teased
I had a full set on me.
Yeah. That one day you teased it, and it was just like...
Yeah, me and Hannah teased it out. She's marrying my cousin, by the way.
Really?
That's weird, yeah. Just a little side note there.
I'll never forget that. Like, you walked into the pep rally, I was like, oh my god. I was like, what? I was like, look at Michael's hair. He was walking in like, it was just like bouncing everywhere. It was awesome.
I think a lot of people still think I'm like that same guy from high school. I'm just like some crazy ass dude or something like that. And I hear stories of stuff I did in high school, and I'm like, I didn't do that. Oh, I didn't do that at all. And it's people have taken some of the littler things I did and made them these big crazy adventurous stories. That's like,
And you're like, I did the beginning, but the rest, no.
I'd love to take credit for all that, but no, I didn't do that, guys. Come on, let's. I'm not crazy. Good Lord.
So after you went after your senior year in high school, what made you decide to go to Nashville?
Well, I know I wanted to do something with music, but I can't play music.
Like, why not record it?
Right, and I really like the idea of working in a studio.
And there's an art to that. I mean, you really gotta know what you're doing.
Yeah, I'm not gonna say that I'm good at it, but I like doing it.
I think you do pretty well.
Okay.
I mean, you know what you're looking at. You know what equipment you need. You know how to do it.
It's all about doing it enough times.
Yeah.
You know?
I've seen you mix tracks, and you do well.
Yeah, I like doing it. It's fun. I like the technical side of music more than I really even like music.
Yeah.
I don't know if that makes any sense.
And
no,
there's a lot behind it that people have no idea about.
I like to see how you made that sound. Like, you think like somebody just picked up a guitar and played it and they recorded it. No.
Yeah.
There's some jackass sitting
there like for 12 hours straight trying to get this
finding
guitar.
the magical angle of the microphone to make that guitar sound the way that it
just
sounds.
Perfect.
Yeah.
And it's worth it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, it's crazy.
Because those guys leave and they come back the next day and you're like, check this out. And they're just blown away.
Right.
Just by just little tweaks that like took forever to get just right. Mm-hmm. But it works.
Yeah. I can't say that I got to do any of that kind of work, but
did you ever get to like sit there for like 10 hours mixing music and?
No, not really. I mean, just because it was the most work I did was in the school, and you didn't have enough time to really stick around like that. I mean, I put probably, I can't remember how many hours on some of those consoles, but
those consoles they had.
Oh, those things are sweet.
Yeah.
It was $500,000 each, and I think they bought them used for like $500,000.
Good Lord.
They're just amazing.
I know what you mean because, we were in the studio and we never finished it because it got like ridiculously expensive. I don't know why I said ridiculous like that, but there was one day I went in. The guy was like, I'm just gonna do mixing, probably start working into mastering. If you want to come in and check it out and hang out, and he's like, I don't really need your input. If you just want to see what I do, that's fine. I was like, yeah, whatever. I'm paying for it anyways. So I went in. I sat there for 10 hours straight watching him do this, like just mesmerized,
Oh yeah.
Because he'll take like 10 seconds of a clip and just like play it over and over and over for like 3 hours.
Oh Jesus!
And in my head, I'm like, dude, just stop. Just go outside. But like, he just kept pounding at it, and he gets a tone. Like they get tones out of it that you couldn't get out of an amp.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's an art. It really is.
Oh yeah.
It's an electronic art.
Mm-hmm.
Audio engineering.
It's crazy. Some of those guys, I don't know how they do it. Some just
right.
It's crazy.
So, how long were you at SAE?
It was about a year.
About a year.
I think the school was. And then I interned at the end of it for a few months. And that place was pretty cool. It was like like they recorded like church music kind of thing, but they did like full horn sections and string sections.
Oh wow.
And stuff
Wow.
like that, which
That's awesome.
I think was actually kind of cooler than just going in and watching them record a guitar, because
Yeah.
I just sat back and watched. For the most part, I'd set up stands and stuff for them and all that. But
You're like, yeah, I'm really learning a lot.
it was cool because you don't see that. Like, they bring in a whole section of session musicians and
Right.
they record out this horn section, and you got, they bring in this guy that's known to play, like, he's known in Nashville for his flute playing.
Yeah.
And they bring him in, or
And he's like
there's
in and out like it's nothing.
yeah, there was a guy that was a harp player, and he was a big harp player around town.
Those are the craziest instruments.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't even understand how. How do you even tune that thing?
I don't know.
Good lord.
But yeah, it was cool to see some of those people come in and out. And I did it. One of the guys that would come in there, he worked for a publishing company, but he made the music. He didn't make it, but he put it together or something. He actually would come up to Indianapolis every so often. So when I moved back here, I went down to Indy and met him a couple times.
Oh, nice.
In the studio down there, which that's a real nice studio too.
Is it? What's the studio? If you remember.
I can't remember the name of it. It's down on the
something
north
studio.
end. It's on the north end, like all the way up the north end of Indianapolis. But it was pretty cool. Met a lot of interesting people doing that.
Oh, I bet.
Kind of stuff. I don't know how many of them that I went to school with are still doing it. Not a lot of them. I know the ones I'm still friends with on Facebook, I don't think any of them are doing it.
Yeah. I mean, it's like, it's a 50-50
But
shot.
we
that
all
you're gonna
went
It's
get
a
somewhere.
niche market, you know.
Well, and we all went. It was 08, 09, and right at that recession.
Yeah.
So
Oh, yeah.
it was like,
The worst time to, like, graduate.
screw off, we're not hiring anybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
You're like, damn it.
it was hard just to find a job down there. Like,
Oh, I
I couldn't
bet.
even find a job to stay living down there.
Yeah.
I had to move back here just because I couldn't even find just a normal work.
Which sucks, because Nashville is awesome.
Yeah.
Nashville's awesome. I love that place.
I've been there a couple times, and I would move there if I could.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'd like to go
but-
back down there.
You know how money is. Comes and goes.
So fast.
All right. So I guess that's probably good for our first episode.
Yeah, we'll probably wrap it up there. And
A little introduction about us and what we're into.
basically what you can look forward to is we want to have other musicians on here and possibly share their music so you can hear, some music that's going on around here. We'd also like to have Micheal on again. He's here with us today.
Anytime, fellas.
Maybe we can get him to, play some guitar.
I'll bring the guitar down.
Maybe just play some guitar while he's talking, Play some of that blues you like to play or whatever.
I love playing me some blues.
So,
Yeah, next time maybe we'll get into something different.
yeah. I got some people in mind. I'm just,
Okay.
I talked to them about it and they seem interested, so I'm just waiting to see when, they're available. So,
Sounds good. Thanks for listening.
yeah, thanks for listening.